voice started. That's it. That's all you have to say.
Hey, what is going on, guys? All right. Hey, guys. Welcome to the third CTHS podcast episode.
Okay.
Today we have another special guest. She's an AP here.
The best AP?
Yeah, the best AP. She's the senior AP.
They're going to get mad at us.
Yeah, well, that's our opinion. We're a little biased 'cause she's ours, but, you know, she's an interesting person. She's really cool. And, yeah, let's just get her on here. You have anything to say?
Yeah, she's the best AP at this campus. No bias.
Yeah, no bias at all.
No bias.
Well, all right, come up here. Her name is Miss McCoy. Yeah.
Hi, guys. Thank y'all for having me here today.
No problem. Thank you for being here.
You're like
Absolutely.
the highest person we've had.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
I know,
far.
right? I get a little nervous, too. I watched Mr. Chandler's podcast the last episode.
Did you enjoy it?
Oh, yeah. I listened to all of them. I listened to the first one a few times.
Mm-hmm.
That one was really interesting. I love podcasts myself, so I listen to a lot of podcasts. But then I listened to Mr. Chandler, and everyone knows, everyone
Chandler.
loves Mr. Chandler,
Yes.
right? So it's kind of like, oh,
Yeah.
I have to follow Mr. Chandler, but that's okay. That's
Yeah.
okay. I don't mind.
Yeah. Well, you do a lot for our class, and we want to thank you for that.
Yeah.
No
Thank
problem.
you.
Um.
A lot.
Yeah.
Seniors, she puts in a lot of work for us. So
So yeah, who are you? Like, what do you do in this campus? You're an AP. What are your duties?
Right.
You know.
So, yes, I'm an assistant principal here at this campus. This year I have seniors, so we've all been together for 4 years now. So this
Yes.
is, sadly, our last year together.
Sad
But
face.
this year I think so far has been the best. It's been a lot of fun. But other than working with seniors, I also have all kinds of other programs that I work with. So I work with the English department. I work with the Connect program, Maritime, Culinary. I'm over attendance, RTI and Reboot, all those things. So each one of us has like different things that we're in charge of and that we supervise.
Yeah. So.
you actually, I don't know if a lot of people know this, but you started off as a teacher here?
I did. So when the campus first opened, I used to teach at Jackson Intermediate. So I taught science, 8th grade science over at Jackson Intermediate. And when the campus was about to open, Miss White, the other assistant principal, reached out to me and just asked me if I was interested in teaching here. And so I was very interested. And I was not certified to teach high school, but I immediately went and got my certification. And so I came over and taught chemistry here for a couple years. And me and Mr. Chandler actually taught together.
Oh, really?
So Mr.
chemistry?
Chandler, yeah, he taught chemistry for a bit. And so at least for 1 year before he was just doing all physics and stuff. And so we taught together for a year.
That's awesome. How was that?
It was great. I mean, two pieces. I love teaching chemistry, so my degree is in biology. And I really like biology. Like, I like all the science pieces and all of those things. But I really like teaching chemistry. So chemistry is just really cool and interesting.
Yeah.
And I like to geek out on
Valence
electrons.
electrons.
Yeah. electron configurations.
Cationic,
stoichiometry.
ionic.
Compounds?
Right?
Yeah.
But Mr. Chandler always cracked me up because he would, we would trade on making the different presentations and stuff. And he would always throw in these crazy things. And I'd be like, I don't even get that reference.
Yeah.
I have no idea what you're talking about. But it was always funny.
Yeah.
So I liked it.
How did you get from like being a teacher to like being an AP?
So I think I knew, or I know I knew, early on in my career that I eventually wanted to get into administration. And so I felt, humble brag on my part, I felt like I was doing really great things in the classroom. And so I was like, how can I impact more than just the 100 plus kids I have every year, right? Like, what are some other things I can do bringing out there? But I didn't rush the process. So I taught for 9 years before I became an assistant principal.
In this district?
Yes.
Yeah.
So all at Jackson Intermediate and then over here at CTHS. But I remember I used to do PALS. So like PALS. Do y'all know PALS? Like the leadership group in intermediate.
No, I haven't heard of it.
No?
No.
Okay, well, I did a leadership group at Jackson Intermediate, and I would always talk to these kids about, I can say I want to be anything, right? Like I can say I want to be an assistant principal, but you can't just be one, right? Like you have to teach for a certain amount of time, then you got to go back to school, then you got to pass a test, then you have to start applying and putting yourself out there. I went back to school when I was pregnant because I knew that with my daughter, because I knew that if I didn't do it now, I was never going to do it. And so I actually had my master's a long time before actually getting, start looking at this position. But when a position came open here, I knew that it was one that I did not want to pass up because this is the best. And I want to be here. This is where I want to be. And so I pushed myself to make sure that I was ready for this position.
Yeah. How long have you been in AP?
This is my 4th year.
Your 4th year? So you started off with us?
Yes. So
yes.
I started off with y'all. So
the best class.
Which is why it's like extra
sad.
hard because it's like, oh, I have to start over again next year with a whole new group.
They'll probably be slicker than us.
I may be a little better at it by then.
Yeah.
I've done it for 4 years now. And I also started, we didn't have the Connect program before I started, and so I started with that one as well. So, I have these things that have really grown over the years, which is really cool. I really like that.
So, like, what's the hardest part of this job that you have?
There's a lot of hard parts. For me, like my own personal struggles is that I want to do a really good job at everything, right? So, like, I want to make sure, it's a little controlling, I think. But I want to make sure every kid's coming to school, and I want to make sure every kid's passing their classes, and I want to make sure, every teacher has what they need to be successful, and I want to make sure all the programs that I've started are going well. And that's just impossible, right? Like, I cannot be in every single place all the time, and so I have to, figure out what are the things that I can do on a daily basis to support what my overall vision is and what my overall goals are. And then just, everyone all the time is dealing with personal things.
Yeah.
Right? And I've always tried to teach my kids that, yes, I come here on a daily basis, but no one knows if I'm going through things personally, right? Just like I don't know if y'all are, right? Or any other person. And so in this position, however, I do know a lot that's going on with a lot of people. And so the emotional pieces of this position have been, I think, some of because I go home thinking about it. I think about my kids and my teachers on the weekends and at night. And, I've had to learn how to be able to drop that at least for a few hours so I can hang out with my husband and my daughter and not be overwhelmed by everyone else's emotions.
Yeah.
Well, you do a really good job at handling it.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah. Do you have any good memories with our class specifically? Any things that stick out?
This year, I've said this year, like before, I think is certainly the best. One, it's just neat to see. So, like, each grade level goes through stages, right? So when y'all came in as freshmen, it was pretty chill. Right? Like, y'all were just, like, figuring things out.
We were hooping together.
I didn't deal with, of course, there was discipline. There always is. But it wasn't, like, people were coming to school, and they were doing the things that they needed to do. And then sophomore year, everybody starts to get a little more independent and a little more squirrely, so a few more conversations with people. It's important that we come to school and pass our classes and, not, do this, that, and the other.
Yeah.
And then junior year, everyone's like starts driving, right? So not everyone, but a lot of people.
Yeah.
Well, trust me, a lot of people.
Yeah, that's true.
And so we start dealing. I have to start dealing with more things, right? Like all the things. And so I have a great group. I'm so thankful because I really do. Like I'm not sitting at my desk every day with office referrals, and not that I don't ever have any, but I'm not doing that all the time, which is great. But I think the junior year is when you see like a spike in that, like me having to talk to kids about, hey, you really do have to come to school every day, and
They
you
feel
really
grown.
do have to pass your classes.
Yeah.
Yes. And you really do have to do all these things. But now it's like, for the most part, they've gotten that down, and so they're just doing the things. But what has been cool about this year is that for me and Mr. Nander, the senior counselor, right? For me
Yeah.
and Mr. Nander, we kind of divide and conquer a lot of the times, right? So she's dealing with grades and making sure kids are doing what they need to fulfill their credits and graduate and go to college and all of those pieces. And then I'm dealing with, make sure you're coming to school and behaving and occasionally, getting in here, make sure you're passing your classes. So we don't always get to deal with work with all the same students. But this year I get to do all these different cool things, like the Optimist Club luncheon, or have senior class officers, or all these things where with students I didn't normally get as much time with. That I get
Decision
to
day.
have more. That I get to have more time with this year.
Yeah.
Field
Cool.
day.
Yeah.
Well,
We're still
we'll
need
see.
it.
We're trying, right? We're trying.
That would be really fun.
It would be really fun. Your senior class president has been throwing that out there quite a bit.
Yeah.
What else? What other?
All right.
Oh yeah, the trip too. Yeah.
Well, yes.
Senior trip. We need a lot
Yes.
of money, man. How's the fundraising
That's at
going?
the bottom of your list, by the way.
Yeah.
Fundraise, right?
Yeah.
Got it. It's going actually pretty good. We've said before, y'all's group is quite a social group. So like being a social group usually goes hand in hand with fundraising, right? So the groups that are more social tend to fundraise a little bit better, and the ones who are Tumblr money was due today, so that's flowing in. We've got the underclassmen doing the next fundraiser, so that all goes to the class fund. And so then we'll just keep going. We are thinking about doing a little movie night / pajama something or other in December as well. So that will bring in some
moolah.
revenue. Fall
Moolah.
Festival was like a hit.
Yeah, it's a big hit, man.
Yeah, I mean it was our biggest. We've made more money this Fall Festival than we ever have before. So it was incredible.
Combined.
By how much? Like,
I don't know as far as the difference between last year and this year, but we sold. You know how you came to the Fall Festival and you bought the little tickets for the booth.
Yeah.
We sold over 4,000 of those.
Wait,
Whoa.
so that's like $4,000?
Yes. Right now, a lot of that goes to the different pathways. Who I know, right?
yeah.
Yeah, I
lot
noticed
of
like
the-
a lot of people were buying tickets, and I was like, "Whoa."
Yeah.
Were y'all scared y'all were gonna run out?
Well, we almost did. We had to go. We
Wow.
had to go get some more, but a lot of that goes to the pathways who were there participating.
Yeah.
Which is why we want them there, right? Our first year when we did the Fall Festival, we only
We were
probably
there.
had.
We were there.
Were you there?
Yeah.
I can't remember. Oh yeah, because it was our second year, our third year. I don't remember when we started. Anyways, our first year when we did the Fall
Everyone.
Festival, because there were less students there, obviously, less tickets sold. And so for the pathways who came out and put all of this money and effort into creating a booth, it was difficult. They didn't get a lot of return for that.
Yeah.
So now we're finally starting to see if you participate in Fall Festival as a club, an organization, a pathway, you're going to make some money. And then the rest of like the tickets that didn't end up getting used or for drinks or whatever, that all goes back to the senior class. So
Yeah.
that's great.
Well, I'm glad fundraising's going well.
We got it. Our
Yeah.
prom is gonna be the best ever.
Yeah.
I'm pretty excited about it.
A lot of people were like not okay with the prom theme, but I mean, I like it. I don't care.
I think
You cannot make everyone
Yeah.
happy.
Starry
And
night.
so I've had to learn this a long time ago in life, and I think I've had this conversation with y'all. We do what the masses want,
Yeah.
right? So we go with what
Majority.
the majority of people would like and would attend. There are quite a few people who may not like it, but they also may be, people who may or may not attend. I want everyone to be there, right? Every senior.
Yeah.
I'd like every senior to be there. The more tickets that we sell for prom, even then, the better that it's going to be. And so, but it's going to be wonderful regardless, right? So no
Yeah.
one's going to look back and be like, oh my gosh, mine was Starry Nights. and
Yeah,
this."
it was
Like, oh
horrible.
my gosh,
Yeah.
it was insane. It was a movie.
Yeah.
I'm not going because of, I think it's going to be great. It's gonna be
Yeah.
wonderful.
Yeah. Remember the Met Gala theme? People were really confused on that one because like Met Gala's like an event. Like they were like, how is that a theme? Like, like you're gonna dress up? Is that the theme? I'm
And
still confused.
I think
too.
what we have now is
Yeah.
good. It's gonna
I
work
mean,
out.
I
It's gonna be a
liked
movie.
what some of them were presenting for Met Gala, and I wasn't even against it, but I was trying to get that point across.
Yeah.
Like, you have to have a theme with Met Gala, so it just can't be Met Gala. You got to give me a Met Gala theme. So I think they were wanting a floral type theme, which I love, but it's not what the majority of people wanted. So, therefore, it's Starry Nights or A Night Under the Stars
Yeah.
or A Starry Night. I don't know yet, but
Moony
something
night.
about nighttime, stars, lots of lights.
I'm
Light
looking
blue.
forward to it.
Purple.
So, do you have any passions outside of your job? Like anything
When
you
you're
want to
not being
endorse?
the best AP at
You
this
know,
campus, what are you doing?
Takes up a lot of my time.
Mhm.
But I really love to travel. So my husband and I both really love to travel. We have started, well, not recently with my daughter, because my daughter's been traveling with us since she was like 1. She's 8 now, but we've recently started taking her international as well. So she has a little passport and everything. That's super
Baby
cool. But
passport.
we really, really, really love to travel.
Yeah.
So
Where have you traveled to?
we traveled all around the state. So like I'm a huge national parks geek.
Uh-huh.
So I really like going to the national parks, hiking, all of that kind of stuff. So we've been to a bunch of the national parks across the U.S.
Big Ben. Have you been to one here?
No, I haven't been. So there's Big Ben,
Yeah.
right? But then they also recently Guadalupe Mountains National Park up closer to El Paso. Haven't been to either one of those, right? Like in
Yeah.
my own state.
Yeah.
But traveling to El Paso or Big Bend is kind of like traveling
Yeah,
to another
it's
state.
really far.
This
Because
is
they're
far.
really
10-hour drive.
Yes.
Yeah, it's far, man.
And then if you're going to fly, you still have to fly into El Paso, but then drive all the way down to So it's like planning any other trip.
Yeah.
But we've also been to Sweden, Denmark, Norway,
Wow.
Germany. We went to Scotland this summer. Took our daughter to Canada, so that was her first international trip, even though it was right over the border.
Yeah.
And we got married in St. Lucia, so that's a
Is
different
that-
country.
Oh,
It's
that?
it's like a little bitty island. It's like this, I don't know, that big on
Yeah.
the map, but it's down by South America.
How'd y'all
So-
find out about it?
Well, some people will say that I stole this idea from The Bachelor,
Oh,
but
my
I
God.
didn't.
Yeah.
The Bachelor, I think, stole it from me. But no, I was watching travel TV because I really like travel. That was back when I had cable. I don't have cable anymore. But
money saver.
yeah, exactly. But I was watching travel TV and I saw St. Lucia. And I was like, I've never heard of that.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, but it is gorgeous. I was like, I'm gonna get married there.
Oh, wow.
I mean, that was the decision. My husband and I were already together, but I was like, we're gonna, I'm gonna get married there.
Yeah.
And then my husband proposes. We start planning our wedding in St. Lucia, and one of the bachelors started filming in St. Lucia. I was like, you have to be kidding me,
Wow.
because it was just like this unknown place.
Yeah.
And then
They ruined it.
the Bachelor. I can't even remember which one of those guys. They're probably not married,
Mm.
but my husband and I were still
Yeah.
good to go.
How's the scenery there? Is it like blue water, mountains? What is it?
Yeah, so it's a volcanic island.
Uh-huh.
And it's still active in a lot of places. So we got married in this like old crumbling fort. So it was part of, I don't know. I'm not great with history. I have a minor in history,
Wow.
but I just like hearing stories.
Yeah.
I don't remember all the information. But I don't remember what was fought there. Something about the French being there. I'm not sure. They
Uh-huh.
have these old crumbling forts. They still have cannons there. Like, it's really cool. So we got married in this crumbling fort. But afterwards, we went out to explore the island, and you can still go to these like volcanic areas, and it smells like sulfur, and it's all bubbling. It's really
Ooh.
cool. So it is mountain. They have what they call the pitons.
Yeah.
So it's like two very rigid mountain peaks.
Mhm.
So it's cool.
Nice.
I haven't been back, but
What-
maybe one day I will be.
What has been your favorite destination?
Oh, I don't know. So I can tell you that my favorite national park so far, we can break it down like that.
Yeah.
Right? I would say that my favorite national park so far has been Grand Teton. So it's
Where's
up.
that?
We did Yellowstone a couple summers ago, right? So
Uh-huh.
Yellowstone is like up north, like Montana, Wyoming, in that area. And Yellowstone and Grand Teton like border each other.
Mm-hmm.
But Grand Teton is a little more mountainous. I really like mountains. And so
Yeah.
mountains and
Me
lakes
too.
are like my thing.
Yeah.
You know, if I
We
can
have
find
the one hill
Yeah.
over. over there.
If I can find somewhere that has mountains and a lake, I'm pretty much sold on going there.
Uh-huh.
And so that's definitely my favorite national park so far. I would say my favorite state is Colorado.
Yeah.
Love
It
Colorado,
looks pretty.
right?
Mhm.
More mountains
Yeah.
Yeah.
and lakes. And Red Rocks Amphitheater, you know. Do y'all know what Red Rocks is? Like the music venue?
No.
Yeah. Oh, wait. Yes.
If you
Yes.
don't,
I
if
think-
you don't, look it up. It's
I
really
think-
cool.
I think I do.
It's like built into these huge sandstone rocks, and it's like a pretty big venue, right?
Yeah.
But it's like super cool. So we went there a while back ago. But Colorado, my favorite state. So
Back to what you were saying.
Yeah.
I'll finish
We're
with
good.
my favorite country. I don't know what my favorite country is, so I can't say that.
How many have you been like in total? Do you know? Do you have a count?
We have a map. Like in our we
Have you
have.
You
filled
should have
out
brought your
every state?
passport.
I know, right? But they don't stamp them anymore,
Ah, what?
right?
Can't you just
Why
do it
not?
yourself?
Well, you can. If you ask, they will stamp it. But it's gotten so like electronic with everything that they
That's
don't
lame.
stamp anymore.
Boo.
We have something called global entry. I'm like the ultimate traveler. We have
Mhm.
something called global entry, and now when I walk up, like I'm coming in and out of the country, I just walk up and it reads my face.
What?
You're not scared of having your face?
By the FBI.
They already did,
Yeah.
right? I mean,
Either way, what are they gonna do with that? You're gonna be
it's,
like, yeah.
it's, but
They're gonna hackers
not
are
a-
gonna download it. They're gonna use your.
But
I
not
don't
only
know.
do they
Like a
have my
clone?
face, then it's just linked to all of my information. So like, here's my face, here's your passport number, here's your address, here's your. I'm like, oh. But I didn't have to stand in line for too long. So.
Mm.
We're
Yeah.
gonna go to Europe.
Yeah, we're going
Yeah?
to Europe this summer.
Yeah.
For real?
Yeah.
Where are y'all going?
To Venice, Florence.
Oh.
The
and where
what
else?
trip they have.
Yeah, the trip with the EF tour.
The Italy trip?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Not
Haven't
the
done
Italy trip, is
Italy.
it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Venice
yeah,
is
yeah.
Italy.
Yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. Yeah, we're going there.
That's really cool.
Yeah, it's like my older sister went in her high
Mhm.
school, and then my older brother went in his high school. So like,
Only
I'm gonna go.
place I've been is DC. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did DC too. But I love it. It's beautiful over there.
It's a lot of walking.
Traveling's really awesome. It gives you a different perspective on
We're
the
good.
world,
Yeah.
right? I mean, and then it also makes you see that everyone's the same,
Yeah.
right? We're all just people. We speak different languages. You know, our economies may look a little different, the way we handle things, but we're all the
Cultures.
same.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
Well,
But who has the best food?
have you been to Mexico?
Not, but when I was like little,
Oh, okay.
we used to just go like over the border and go shopping and all that kind of stuff because my grandparents live like down in the valley.
Yeah.
So, but not in a long time. Not since I've like been a traveler. So,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't know about the best food. I wouldn't say that I've traveled to any countries that are like known for their
Their food.
cuisine.
Uh huh.
It's like meat and potatoes, which I love. I mean, that's delicious, but it's not
Meat and
like
potatoes.
Italy with pasta or France with pastries and things. So,
Yeah.
haven't been to those places yet.
Yeah. Well, it's about time we need to wrap this
Sorry,
up.
camera's dying.
Camera dying over there.
Oh no!
Yeah.
I mean, I can only do this like in one take, so I'm
No,
a very
Well,
busy
well,
person.
even if it, yeah.
No,
Just
yeah.
Even if it died, it'd be okay. But it'd just
Yeah.
be like hard
Yeah.
cut.
Yeah.
So
So,
we
you have any closing statements? Anything you want to
Yeah,
tell
we
the
always
audience?
like to end off on a really positive.
Yeah.
Yes.
that's our
well,
thing,
that's
I
what I
guess.
was going to say. You need to remain positive. So there are always things that are going to knock you down, but stay positive and stay focused and be nice to one another.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
Be
really
kind.
important. It goes a long way. Just be nice.
Watch your pants.
Treat each other with respect
Yeah.
And fundraise.
and fundraise.
Yeah.
And come to school every day, pass all of your classes, and no office referrals
What do you
Okay.
mean?
for everyone.
Liar.
That's everyone who may listen.
All right. Well, That's about
Thank you. Thank you
guys.
for coming on.
Thank
Yeah,
you
thank
guys.
you.
Thank y'all for having me. I may have forced your hand a little bit. I was like really wanting to be on the podcast.
It's
No,
okay.
This
I'm
was
very
fun.
excited.
Guys, you were a
Thank
great
you.
guest.
I appreciate it.
All right.
It was an honor to
Um,
have the best AP on the podcast.
Thank you.
Dr.
Maybe
is gonna come at me.
Yeah, I was about to say maybe the others won't watch, but they'll understand why.
I'm just saying that
Yeah.
to mess with him at this point.
Yeah.
What? So were you trying to say I'm not?
No, no, I'm reiterating it. A lot
I'm
of
joking.
times.
I'm joking.
All right.
Okay. Thank you guys.
That's about it. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you, Miss McCoy.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Thank you guys. See ya.
Yeah.